If you skip the basics, you're going to be handicapped in calisthenics. I'm talking about mastering your pull-ups, rows, dips, and push-ups. If you can't do at least 10 reps with a full range of motion and solid technique, this is where your time and effort should be placed. It's going to build your upper body strength in all of the important movement patterns, vertical and horizontal pulling and pushing. I started calisthenics in 2009, back in the old days. The culture was all about sets and reps, doing these basics and really pushing yourself to improve. Beware that your social media feed shows just extreme skills, not all of this base building stuff that actually matters. The biggest mistake I see is when people haven't paid their dues on these basics. They really struggle with pull-ups and expect to do front levers with ease. They can't do dips and they think, oh yeah, I'll just do a full planche. No worries, mate. Bent arm pulling and pushing is the gateway to building up that general strength and size that you're going to want to achieve early on in your calisthenics training. Please don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's conclusion. Their highlight reels, you just can't compare yourself to that. As a physio, I see so many people getting injured when they haven't paid their dues on compound calisthenics. Plus, you're just not going to have an impressive physique if you don't have decent numbers on your basic pulling and pushing. The harsh reality about pull-ups and dips, you're going to be doing them forever if you're a bodyweight enthusiast. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that once you've got decent reps on pulls and pushes, that you just stop completely. Just like brushing your teeth is for maintaining oral hygiene, keeping these basics on rotation is going to have your body healthy for all things calisthenics. Every time that I neglect my pull-ups and dips for a few months, I really notice a big difference in how my body feels and functions. I just don't feel as strong or explosive, and I lack that general brute strength. There's this noticeable disconnect with how my body feels. Whenever I ponder the meaning of life, I hear one thing whispering in my ear: master the basics. In other news, I've got you a gift. I want you to click below to download my free full body calisthenics workout. I'll teach you how to get big and strong with old school bodyweight training. Bands are your best friend in calisthenics, and not just for beginners either. The problem with bodyweight exercises is you either find the full movement impossible, or it's so hard that you can only do 1 or 2 sloppy reps. The solution is simple. Just use bands. This offloads a portion of your body weight and it makes training more realistic. The biggest benefit is you're now able to build strength instead of just testing it with random attempts. Band calisthenics allows you to get stronger in that 3 to 6 rep range for multiple sets using a full range of motion. And best of all, you're not absolutely exhausted after just one set. That means you can do much more volume, which is going to help you become more skillful at the movements you're doing. To progress, the goal is to use a lighter resistance band with similar form, so that you're lifting a greater percentage of your body weight and getting stronger. What's also great about bands is the ability to auto-regulate. You're changing how hard an exercise is depending on your situation. Just like you'd lift lighter or heavier dumbbells at the gym, you can think of using thicker or thinner bands as needed too. If you're feeling strong, challenge yourself with a thinner band. If you've had a terrible night's sleep, your girlfriend's nagging you, thicken that assist. Do the workout instead of skipping your session. Something is better than nothing. Or if you're doing a deload week, using bands is a smart way to get in some extra recovery while still keeping your skill on lock. If you're returning after some time away from calisthenics or injury, bands can help bridge the gap in your strength levels in a smart and measured way. Bands are a tool that I'm constantly using in my own training behind closed doors. It's all about getting those reps or holds and improving your numbers over time. Nothing fancy about it, just honest training and getting that little bit better each day. With hard work and consistency, one day you're going to be able to overcome gravity and master these calisthenics skills without bands. Skill training for calisthenics requires a smart strategy to succeed. You should always put the most important exercises at the start of your workout. I'm surprised how many people don't do this. And it's one of the easiest ways to progress. So if you want to unlock handstand push-ups or muscle-ups, put them at the beginning of your session and watch those gains come. The reason why skills should come first is they demand a lot of technique, and if you're tired from doing other exercises, you're just going to build bad habits. The start of your workout is the window of opportunity where you've got the most energy to give. Use it wisely. There's just no point putting your main goal at the end when you're mentally checked out. Save that for calf raises. I'd recommend leaving a few reps in reserve for the goal of strength. Holding back a tad on the intensity, not going to absolute muscular failure, leads to better technique for more quality sets, and it allows a greater training frequency in the week. I like to think of skill training as a practice. It's something that you have to do often to grease that neural groove of the body. It's important not to juggle too many skills at once either. One push, one pull skill, it's plenty to do on an upper body day. Whereas the rule most people break here is trying to cram every calisthenics skill into one workout in 1 week, which leads to stagnation. If you just follow this simple strategy, skills first, intensity high, but not maximum, you'll unlock calisthenics progress much faster than that bro who doesn't know how to structure things sensibly. Because if your abs are weak, you simply won't reach your full potential in bodyweight training. Anti-extension exercises should be a staple in your routine. Hollow body holds, planks, and rollouts being a few quality options. The goal here is to develop your core's ability to work isometrically, since in calisthenics, your abs are primarily responsible for resisting unwanted movement. As you build this core strength, you're going to become more capable of holding a proper hollow body position, which directly translates to preventing your lower back from arching. You see, when your core is weak, you end up leaking energy through the kinetic chain and you're losing overall body tension. As a result, your upper body, it can't express its true strength. A strong, well-conditioned core, it improves force transfer, meaning you'll be able to produce more effective pushing and pulling exercises such as push-ups, dips, pull-ups, rows, everything. I've noticed that when I neglect my core training, firstly, shame on me, but my shoulders take more of a beating. That's why you can't just look at a painful joint. You need to assess above and below it for weak links. Since getting consistent with my ab wheel work, my bracing, surprise, surprise, has improved and my shoulders are feeling better without doing anything different. That's the complexity of training. Everything is connected, especially in calisthenics. There's nowhere to hide. If your core is weak, the body keeps score and it sends you signals that you have to listen to. You don't need to train your abs every single day to see results either. The abs respond to tension and progressive overload just like any other muscle group. But no, this is forgotten. People opt for these daily fat blasting, belly reducing 1,000 rep circuits. Just several challenging sets per week for abs is sufficient, especially if you're tracking your hold times or reps and consistently improving over time. Weighted calisthenics is the foolproof way to keep seeing gains forever. What happens when you're easily doing 20 plus reps on bodyweight exercises, say rows or push-ups? Do you just keep doing more and more reps until the end of time? You can, but that starts to build endurance, and that's not the goal that many of you want. Instead, opting for size and strength. By attaching some weight plates to your body, you've now got an unlimited progressive overload option at your fingertips. You can throw on really heavy weights and train in low rep ranges of 5 or less to bias strength. Or you can choose weights that you find challenging in the 6 to 15 range so they can build up hypertrophy in an efficient way. If you like bodybuilding but want to use bodyweight exercises, this weighted work is going to be something that you really enjoy. It's how I've kept calisthenics challenging after all these years of training, and the addition of weights is how I've managed to build up my physique. By working full range of motion exercises, these time-tested, classic pulling and pushing movements are amplified with the addition of weights. There's a strong correlation with your weighted calisthenics numbers and what your body looks like. If you're able to pull up and dip with several plates on your body and rep it out, your body has no choice but to adapt to those demands and get jacked like a damn silverback gorilla. The unspoken benefit of getting as strong as you can on weighted cali is that it carries over to gym lifts. If you're strong on weighted dips, for example, you can throw up pretty big numbers on the bench press with a bit of practice. It doesn't usually work the other way around. My theory is all of that scapular control you get from weighted calisthenics makes you stable like a rock. So learning how to stabilize external things like a barbell, it doesn't feel so foreign. If you're not training hard enough, your body has no reason to get bigger. Can you build muscle with calisthenics? Yes, if you train the right way. The number one rule of hypertrophy training for bodyweight exercises is effort relative to failure. You've got to be pushing each set really hard to the point of discomfort. You know, the kind that makes you nervous thinking about it before starting a set? That's where you want to be. The number one sign is when the rep speed starts slowing towards the end of a set. When you're shaking, struggling, that's when all of that muscle building goodness is going to come. The key is reaching close to muscular failure, when you can literally not do any more than, say, 1 or 2 reps. That's the level of intensity you need to be training at on your basic calisthenic push and pull movements. I'm not against going to failure on the last set of an exercise as well. I think that's an unspoken benefit of bodyweight training. It's not that fatiguing to hit failure once you become accustomed to it with just your body weight. Let's be realistic here. Going to failure on, say, a set of pull-ups is just nothing compared to a 1-rep max deadlift. One reason that people don't grow with calisthenics is they're just leaving way too many reps in the tank. Research shows that most people underestimate how many more reps they've got left, often by 2 or 3. I'd say it's much more than that on average. That means when most of us think we're close to failure or hitting failure, we're actually stopping the set way too early and leaving so many gains on the table. If you're truly training close to failure, it's built-in overload. Your numbers should be trending up over time. More reps, more weight, or using harder variations. If we're brutally honest with ourselves, I think that we all grossly underestimate how hard we're actually training. It's not until I work out with a friend or just say to myself, I'm going to keep going until I literally can't move, that I realize what I'm capable of. I think it's this cognitive dissonance that we all have during our daily workouts. We like to think of ourselves as the hardest worker in the room, when in reality, we're probably average, going through the motions and leaving effort on the table. Training to failure, easy in theory, but so hard to actually do in practice. You have to be present. And you got to bring that level of effort which separates being average from being exceptional. But if you can just increase that effort on most days, you can take your physique to crazy heights with calisthenics. It is possible if you're willing to summon the effort that you're truly capable of. Being patient is a superpower in calisthenics and separates the kids from the adults. We all want to make progress as fast as we can, achieving our goals sooner rather than later. The problem with this approach, it's just not realistic. The human body isn't a machine. Calisthenics isn't no 30-day transformation from zero to hero. Anything of value, it requires a longer commitment. You need to spend ages working through those band-assisted exercises to eventually unlock your new strength. Those calisthenics skills, they take a sickening amount of reps and practice over time to become part of your neural makeup. And you got to work on all that damn core conditioning to make sure that your body doesn't have any of those weak links in the connect chain. And increasing load on those weighted calisthenics moves requires dedication to the process, grinding away over and over on the same exercises, just pushing for small improvements. The rule of calisthenics I've learned the hard way is that everything takes longer than you want. Getting stronger, building muscle, unlocking skills, and improving mobility. Understanding rates of progress based on your level helps with being more patient. For beginners, those newbie gains are fast and everything improves linearly every day. As you become intermediate, you may improve reps, weight, or hold times every couple weeks. As you become advanced, we're talking about a snail's pace. Things take many months for just a humbling amount of teeny tiny gains. If you try and rush the process, you're going to end up crushing your recovery, plateauing, or even regressing. Worse yet, you're going to get overuse pain or some type of traumatic injury that could have been prevented if you just stayed patient. Taking your time and not rushing the process, it really keeps your ego in check. And it quiets that critical voice that we all have when we're not where we want to be just yet. By following these 7 rules today, you'll make serious gains with calisthenics. But if you're not training on rings, you're missing out on more muscle building benefits. This video right here will show you the best exercises that you can include in your routine right now to make more gains. And we all want more gains. See you over there.